Hi there, and welcome to episode number 120 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and where I get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. Today is Saturday, July the 16th? Yeah, Saturday, July the 16th, 2022, and it's hot. It's warm. I'm not a fan of the heat. I got yarn fluff. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. If you're a new viewer, thank you so much for coming by to see what I've got to say. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for another week to see what I've been up to. I'm so happy to have everyone here. I'm so happy to have everyone here listening to what I'm rambling on about. So it's been a pretty busy week. I've had a lot of work things that have had to get done, and I spent all my spare time working on one project, and I have finished that one project. Currently, I now have one work in progress. That might not last long. I might be casting on something else, potentially this evening, get myself back up to 2, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. So my finished object, it's done. This, I'll show it a little bit better in just a minute, because right now it just looks like a pile of yummy fabric. This is my Miss May Shawl Mystery Knit Along MKAL shawl that I just completed. This is a pattern by Helen Stewart, and it was run as a mystery knit along for a period of 5 weeks. It began, I believe, the 6th of October, 9th of October. I'll put the correct date up there. Whatever of those days was the Tuesday. The pattern was released, or the first clue was released, and it was released over 5 Tuesdays. The last clue came out a week and a half ago, and I just now finished the knitting on Thursday and started the bind off on, I think I did a little tiny bit of it on Thursday. Spent a little bit of my spare time on Friday finishing the bind off, and I got it soaked and blocked last night. So it's done, and it's no longer flagged as being a mystery, and we no longer are required to use some spoiler pictures and spoiler images when we're showing it off. The pattern in its entirety came out on, I think it was the 12th of July. Did I say October before? I think I said October. It came out early June, and it ran for 5 weeks. Anyway, let's find the top. Here it is. It's all blocked, and I love it. So I'll show you the whole thing. I love it. I used Cloudborne Superwash Twist Sock. I'll mark that down here. I used a 4mm or US size 6 needles for this, and it's a nice crescent shaped shawl. It kind of flares up a little bit on the side, but in general I pinned it out with a fairly straight border across the top and just let it kind of flare out a little bit once we got to the ends. But I think it's so pretty. It is so pretty. So I used 4 colors on this. Such a good podcaster, aren't I? One of these greeny blue colors is Lagoon, the other is Ocean. I think this is, I'm not even gonna guess. One of them is Lagoon, one is Ocean. The 2 brownish tan colors, this one is Taupe Heather and this one is Stone Heather. And I used a little over 50 grams of each of the colors. I haven't weighed out the final skeins yet to see exactly what the final weights of each color was, but it was, I had to cake up the second of each of the 50 gram skeins of yarn. So it was a little over 50 grams of each. I will add those details into, I'll get the skeins, as I said, I finished it up last night. We were watching a movie, I finished, as soon as the movie was done, I got it soaking, got it blocking, and by then I was just too pooped and tired to even think about getting the skeins weighed out. And I've been on the go all day today. I had a brunch thing with a group of friends of mine this morning. So I left here about 9:15 in the morning. I dropped the hubby off at work. I continued on my way for the brunch, and that was supposed to run from about 10 till 1. We finally finished yakking at about 1:30 and finished up. I had to make a stop at Walmart and pick up a few things for traveling, and then went and picked up the hubby, and there was someone else from one of the other members of the church was there visiting, so the 3 of us sat there and yacked for a while, and then we had a couple errands to run on the way home, and now I'm finally getting going on this. It's 4:45 Saturday afternoon. So I have not had a chance to get the rest of those skeins weighed and done up. I'll get it done probably this evening. So that's about it for my knitting content. What I do have to show you, my husband has teased me, he said, "Are you going to talk about me on your podcast today?" And I'm like, yes, actually I am. Yesterday we went out. Usually on Fridays we tend to do something together. Either go out for lunch, go window shopping, just something. So we went to a nearby town. We went out yesterday on Friday. We went out to a nearby town. We went out for lunch. There's a fantastic Mexican restaurant there, so we went there. And then we poked around in a couple shops, and we went out for coffee and had a little treat there. Then we went to the Goodwill store in this town, and we were just poking around looking at things, and I hadn't really found anything that I wanted to buy. But the hubby, I was just waiting, I was holding a few things he had chosen, and he said he just wanted to make one more loop around and see if there was anything wonderful that he had missed. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. So finally I went hunting for it. And he said, "Oh," he says, "come here. Do you need one of these?" And I'm like, "What on earth is it?" And he said, it is a fishing line gauge measuring thing. That's the technical name for it. There were 2 of them. It's 99 cents. And once he said what it was, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I want one. You can attach it, clamp it down to something, and what this is designed to do is to run a line of fishing line through here, and as it goes through, the counter measures how many feet have passed through. Now, I have wanted something like this for yarn. What I want to do is I have several skeins of yarn that I would like to make some mini skeins with. And in particular, what I want to make is the, I can't remember if I've showed you this before. It's the Bubble Cardigan by Stephen West. And I saw someone had made that sweater using an advent calendar worth of 20-gram mini skeins. And what she did was she alternated she did white or a bare yarn, and then she did one row or one little bubble section in day 1, then white, then the day 2 color, then white, then day 3, all the way down the cardigan and all the way down the sleeves. And I absolutely love the way that looks. I'll put a picture in here of her version of this pattern. And so what I want to do is go through and take a few skeins, probably 4 or 5, probably 5 skeins, maybe 6, of bare fingering weight yarn. And what I wanted to do was divide each skein into 4. So what I want to do is do a 25-gram mini instead of a 20, because I'll be making a larger size sweater, because as we know, I'm not a dainty, tiny little person. I will be making a plus size cardigan, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't run out of any of the colors. So what I want to be able to do is divide up a skein of yarn, a bare yarn, into each one into 4 25-gram mini skeins, and then dye each of these mini skeins a different color so I can use it in the sweater. So this is going to be perfect for that. I'll clamp it onto something so that it stays still, and I will run the yarn through this little feeder. I will put the bare skein of yarn on my Amish yarn swift and run it through here onto, I'll do it up into a tiny little cake, and then I'll undo the cake back onto the swift so that I can have it into a small hank. And that way I can take each of my bare skeins of yarn and divide each one of those into 4 25-gram little mini hanks, and then dye each of the mini hanks separately so that I can use them to create this bubble cardigan doing the advent calendar style. So that's my plan. So I wanted one of these or something like this to do that. So the hubby found them, 99 cents. He is a fantastic bargain hunter. I love it. So we have 2 of them. I only need 1, but I have 2 of them, or we have 2 of them. I have no idea what on earth he wants one for, but for 99 cents, they both came home with us. So I thought that's perfect. So I can create my little mini skeins, and I can get going on making my own advent calendar style bubble cardigan. I'm really excited about doing that. Really excited about that. So that's not going to happen until, I probably won't get to dyeing the yarn until sometime in August or maybe September, and I won't be starting to work on that cardigan until the fall. And I'd like to have it for wearing this winter coming up, but we shall see. So in a couple days, I'm going to be flying up to Canada to visit family. I'll be gone for almost a little over 2 weeks, a couple days over 2 weeks. The hubby is going to be staying here. He has work going on, so we have frequently over the years traveled separately and traveled alone to visit. He's gone to visit his family alone several times. I've gone to visit my family alone several times. So it's nothing out of the ordinary for us to do that. So I will be flying out on Tuesday morning. So Monday afternoon we are going to go over to the town where my flight will be leaving from. We're going to stay overnight at a hotel at the airport, so that we're at the airport, or I'm at the airport, dark o'clock, so that I'm ready to be through security and ready to catch my flight for 7 o'clock in the morning. So I have a long day ahead of me in the airport, or in airports. I fly, my first layover is in Chicago, and that will be for 7 hours and 45 minutes. 7 hours and 45 minutes. That's almost a whole day's work shift, sitting in an airport waiting. So I will need some knitting. I will also be taking something to read, but I'm trying to decide. I might take my Empress cardigan, especially if I can get, in the next day and a half, if I can get the bulk of the lace part done, so it's only stockinette left to do, then that's going to be something that's really dead simple to work on while I'm traveling. Or I'm going to take 1 or 2 skeins of yarn that I have caked up and make some vanilla socks. I haven't decided. I might take my some of my Felici yarn and do those 2 at a time, so that I can keep them matchy-matchy. Someone had mentioned in the comments that that's a great idea, is to do them 2 at a time so that I can make sure that they match. I've only once ever tried to make a pair of socks match perfectly, and I finished the first one. I marked exactly where I had started the cast on, and I started at the exact same point in the color sequence, and I got to about the heel and found out that there was a break in the yarn and they had just knotted it, and my matching pair of socks no longer matched. The leg was matched perfectly on both. The feet did not match because this one had, and I was not about to unravel a whole pile of yarn to find where the yarn sequenced. So I honestly never give 2 hoots about whether or not my socks match 100%. If I'm using self-striping or a variegated yarn or anything like that, I don't care. I'm not fussed by that at all. No one is going to be looking at my feet that carefully, and if they are, if they have anything bad to say about it, they're within a not safe distance from my foot to their body, and I can give them a little kick. I would never do that. But no one is ever going to comment on that, and if someone does comment on it, I don't care. They're my socks, they're my feet. I enjoyed the process of knitting. That's the important part for me. And if the socks don't match 100%, I don't care. So I do think though that I will do them 2 at a time. I might do them 2 at a time in tandem, but I culled out some of the skeins of fingering weight yarn here that I've dyed myself, and I'm trying to decide yarn I might use. So I have 6 skeins that I've narrowed it down to. There's this one that is kind of a blue and purpley variegated kind of yarn. I don't know. I don't know which one I'm going to take. This one is a blue and green. I think I kind of dip dyed half blue, half green. So I might do that one because that might make up some neat little color blocky effects and pooling. And I also kind of like when in socks when yarn pools and flashes and does all kinds of funky stuff. There's this one that has just a little bit of like a minty green and a few little specklies on a bare yarn. That's a possible. There's this one that's kind of a teal and white with again some specklies on it. I think that was one that was an extra or leftover from when I dyed all of these skeins. I dyed a bunch in worsted weight that I used in my, it's a Stephen West pattern. It was the hybrid knit along this past winter. Cable trellis? Anyway, this was I dyed a whole bunch of fingering weight skeins in the extra dye bath I had, which will someday become a sweater or a cardigan. And then I had just a little bit left over, so I did this skein. I might use this one, although this one I might keep for a Sock Madness type one, or a Sock Madness type pattern that might be okay for using a lightly speckled yarn. And then there's this one, which is also a purple blue variegated yarn. I'm actually leaning towards probably one of these 3. Maybe I'll cake up 2 of them, and then I'll have enough to make two pair of socks while I'm away. Who knows? You'll have to stay tuned and find out what I actually ended up caking up and casting on. So I'm not sure. I had initially hoped that I would be able to get something videotaped and have scheduled to post while I'm away. That didn't happen. I did not get time to get that done. And it's incredibly unlikely that I will get that done between now and Monday afternoon. Sundays are always a very busy day for us with church things and hubby's job. And then by Monday I'm going to be flapping around, probably literally flapping around, getting everything packed and organized and ready to go. So it's quite unlikely that I will get anything filmed. So most likely I will not have another video posted until I'm back from holidays. I come back on the late in the day, like 10 something at night, on Thursday, August the 4th. And we're going to again stay at the hotel at the airport. We don't want to drive home an hour and a half at 11 o'clock at night. No. So we'll camp out the hotel by the airport, and then from there we will head home on Friday mid-morning, late morning. So I will be posting a video on the Saturday after I'm back from holidays. So I will be able to show you then what knitting I managed to do over the it'll be 3 weeks before I post again. Yeah, it'll be 3 weeks between this video and the next one that's posted. So hopefully I'll have 1 or 2 pair of socks to show you, finished socks. And hopefully I've had a chance to get some work done on my Empress top. I'm gonna take a look and see how much space the Empress top takes. Whether that might be the deciding factor, whether that comes with me on vacation or not. Because I am planning on packing very light. I'm only going to take, I have a large tote bag size purse, and I also have a large zip up tote bag type suitcase, and that's all I'm planning on taking. I'm not planning on taking a suitcase that I have to check. I just don't want to deal with the possibility of my luggage not getting to my destination with me, so I will take mine as carry-on, because they'll easily, my purse, actually if I'm lucky I can probably squeeze both my purse and the other bag under the seat in front of me. So that's how I'm planning on doing that. So my space is at a premium, so I won't be wanting to take a lot of knitting supplies with me. So that's why I'm thinking maybe just supplies to make 2 pair of socks. So I'll see how much space that sweater might take, because that would make for good knitting, just the plain stockinette portion, just knitting around and around and around in circles. Because I would love to get that finished while it's still summertime, so I can wear it while it's still summertime. So anyways, I'm really starting to ramble now, and it's about time to get going, get this editing, get it uploaded, and get working on, get some knitting, get going with some knitting. I haven't knit a stitch yet today, and it's after 5 o'clock. That's not good. So anyway, take care, and I will see you again in 2 or 3 weeks. I will see you again when I get back from my vacation. So cross your fingers that all my travel goes nice and smoothly with no major hiccups or hassles. I don't want hiccups or hassles. Alright, take care everyone, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.